What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the 10-yard fight. I'm Coach KK. Glad to be here, man. I'm so glad to be here. This is a heck of a debut or whatever we want to call it on College Football 26, first ebook of the season. We're going to call this is going to be volume 22. We're going to call this the Power Deuces scheme. This is going to be super fun. I'm so excited. I have so much to say that I can't even get everything out, guys, at one time. Everything is coming out at one time out of my brain. So I have so much ground to cover. This is going to be real fun. I hope you guys been holding it down in the first 2 months. This is going to be so fun, man. So, yeah, this is 12 personnel right here. We have 2 tight ends, 1 running back, 2 receivers. This is similar to the previous volume 21, with the gun wide spread scheme, because as you can see right here, sometimes it's a 2x2 set. See, look right there. It's a 2x2 set at times. And it's very similar to volume 20, which was the power spread scheme we had out there. It was 12 personnel as well. So we're in college now, and let's get this party started. I was on this scheme last year. I had this scheme built for you guys last year, but I just didn't get time to it. Work-life balance kind of burnt me out. So I was kind of stuck with Oklahoma, the Oklahoma stuff we did. And when I say stuck, I mean in a good way. I just kind of kept the focus there. I had this scheme last year. So the team actually got better. They put some more pieces on the field. And I'm excited about that because they are undefeated right now. They went from 23 to like 20 to like 8 or 9 or something like that. And yeah, so let's get it started. Let's get some stuff out here. I'm gonna show you guys what we're working with. This is 12 personnel. So before we get into audibles, I want to show you some things that some key things and some reasons for being, you know. So for one thing, if you look at it, you look at the field, we have 2 tight ends attached to the line of scrimmage. Okay. They are built in next to the tackles. We got some sets that look like this, where the 2 tight ends are together with the receivers. We're going to focus on the tight ends and receivers at this point. You got the alignment and then the running back. The running back comes last. Okay. Although this is pretty much a 50-50 type of thing when it comes to run and pass ratio. We want to run the ball, but the alignment of the receivers and tight ends comes first. I know you guys play regular head to head, so you might have to play with this team with the playbook. You get everything I had put out here. Or if you play in Dynasty, you get the creative playbook probably, or your team might have some of this stuff in it. It's 9 sets to it, but we're only going to focus on 8, And so if you're a playbook junkie like Coach KK, you can pull some of this stuff out, kick back, take notes, and just, chew up the meat and spit out the bones, as I usually say, and, just take what you can do, because everybody sees the field different. There might be like concepts that I run that you just don't understand, or things that I see that, it'll take you a while to see, or because we all see the field differently. So I'm just out here just, giving notes and giving ideas. Okay. You're not going to be able to do every single thing I do, but what you will see is a lot of consistency. You will see the same plays work on various opponents in different situations, different times of the game, and so forth on. Yeah, so I'm playing around with the alignment, just showing you guys what's going on. We can pair the receivers together. We can keep a tight end on each side, give a little trip type of look, make the play flow look like it's going left. We can also keep it like balanced at the line of scrimmage, have 1 tight end on each side, 1 receiver on each side with them. You can run little concepts like that. You can keep it fully symmetrical. That's one of my favorite things to do in the game because you can go left or right and the defense will never know what hit them. And stuff like that. Like this is the like I don't do motions. I don't really like to um create ebooks that have motions involved in it because that's the motion right there. Just audibling, just doing an audible to another formation or set is just going to give me a different look, and that's going to give emotion. It's going to change the numbers from the field, and it's going to have to make the user think. So I'm not one of those guys that's going to tell you to come out in this play and put this guy on a motion and hot route him, hot route him. I'm not like that. I like to do it by the play. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a set right there. It look like this somewhat. So you can see we moving these pieces around like they label like they're Lego blocks. You see, how back in the days you had the Lego blocks and you had the interchangeable pieces. Everything fit with one another. It all depends on how you get creative and innovative with it. So that's what we're doing. Everything has a purpose. Okay. You got the double tight ends right there on one side, the double receivers over there on one side. Then you can hit them with something totally different like this. You see what I'm saying? Stack everybody over there. So yeah, everything kind of plays off one another. All right. And we're going to make this make sense coming up. So yeah, this is going to be so fun. Like I say, you got to understand the reason for being because like we want to stack the formations certain ways just to run back the other way. You know what I'm saying? You want to give an illusion to what you're doing at the line of scrimmage. One of the points right here is controlling the pace, controlling and winning at the line of scrimmage before you snap the ball. Have answers as usual, for the defense. Have a variety of concepts into one play built in. That's a thing that we always talk about. And just don't overcomplicate things. Okay. I'm going to be all over the place with this ebook today as we do part one as usual in practice mode. I'm going to be all over the place. So all I can tell you guys is to kind of like take notes, chew up the meat, spit out the bones, and you're going to gravitate to something. So let's get started with some audibles. This is going to be the page I work from right here. I go to personnel and it'll show you everything. This is going to be the page I go to personnel and it'll give me everything I need to show you guys. And you guys can work your offense from this as well. First up is the gun ace. Okay, let's look at it. 2 tight ends, 1 on each side, 2 receivers, 1 on each side. The running back is to the right. If I flip the play over, the running back goes to the left. You can see it right there. He goes to the left. Very subtle movement. That's what we like right there. Some of the running plays are going to give away the direction of like, because, if you see your running back right here to the right, it's obvious that he's going to the left, a straight shot. But we have counters, we have powers, we have misdirections, we have guards pulling. So no need to worry. You're going to be just fine. We're going to use certain plays to set up for future plays down the line. All right, so let's start off from the top. QB zone, QB blast. Okay, these are killers. All right, these are some of the most important plays in this set. You can run this on any situation of the field, even if it's just 1st and 10, or whether it's 1 yard to go on the goal line or inches, like a tush push. Like shout out to Jalen Hurts. This is a better way of running QB sneak because when you get in the goal line, they already know QB sneak is coming. But if you get in this, they don't know. They still have to respect the tight ends and the running back and the passing game, with the receivers.
All right. This is a design run. Makes it past the marker. Finally corralled, but not before. He picked. Quarterback will keep it. And he'll step into the end zone. Touchdown, Aggies!
Bench is okay.
Get something on the board here in the final minute of the first half. To throw, it's Reed. Quick completion on the out route. At the 40, there he goes. Flying down the right side. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
You can kind of create that play at the line of scrimmage on your own. So we're going to move forward. Tight end attack is a must-have. That's a beautiful concept. You cannot create that double move from the tight end. That play right there is pretty much my favorite play in the set. Excuse me if I say this play is my favorite play. So you got to just know that this is one of the favorites, okay? The offense revolves around this play. You got your comeback routes out there. They're spaced out. And, you know, it all depends on how the defense line up. If they want to have people in the slot or if they want to have them in the box, we will go where they're not at.
To the air, it's Reed. Good route on the comeback, and he makes the catch. The ball. Second down, they'll go to the air. Unloads to the wideout. Got his man downfield. Them going up tempo. To throw, it's Zeno. Going for 6. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
You got your inside zone. That's obvious. If sometimes, you know, you will hold off on the inside zone because they're thinking that all day long, and you know you hit them with other things like a read option.
Right. They completely flipped the script, almost a guaranteed first down on second down, and
Breaks free. And he'll finish the run in the end zone.
PA shot is I don't really do streaks like that in the game this year. I do seam routes, but I don't do streaks unless it's really, really in my favor. Like my man is faster than his, he's pressing, and there's no one over the top. So I hold off on PA shot. The play action part is cool. Maybe you can go to play action and then put the receivers in other routes like the comeback routes, because the comeback route is pretty much like I bring the comeback route to every scheme we do, you know, and you can never deny comebacks. All right. So that's that. If you look at my audibles, I'll go to formation and I'll go there, and you can see the blast and the trap, which we haven't talked about yet. And the tight end attack is in my audibles along with screen. You know, that's my audibles right there for the gun ace. All right. These things are color coded for a reason. I have red, blue, green, and yellow. You know, my yellow is my ace, and my other yellow is my deuce, and that's because they look the same. So let's take a pause real quick. So I'll show you the card real quick, and the reason being. Okay, so you can see we're in the pistol deuce, and like I said earlier, if you do a formation shift and go to pistol ace, everything is pretty much the same. You know, it was subtle movement. The tight ends are the same, the receivers are the same, just the running back move. So that gave you 8 audibles for that set. That's yellow. That's why it's together. You know, they're color coded for a reason. All right, we're gonna go to the next play from the ace, because I want to make sure you guys are with me. I'm gonna go to personnel, go to ace, go down here. I'm good on flanker curl. This is where we continue that. I'm good on flanker curl. The double move is cool, but the double move, you can't count on that to be a double move. All right, I can create curl and in and swing routes at my own arsenal at the line of scrimmage from other plays. So when you do audibles, you want to put audibles, you want to insert your audibles to the ones that, you know, the hot routes that you can't do, you know, or that's guaranteed. Like you can't build in a play action animation. So I would put PA read. That's worth putting in the audibles, you know, just because of the PA read or the read option. That can serve as an inside zone. You know, I would put read option in the audibles before I would put inside zone because it's a two-way go, right? So yeah, PA read is pretty cool. Also, quick slants, I'm good. I can create that on my own at the line of scrimmage. Y'all got to pay attention when I say that. I can create that on my own. There's no need to have it. It's very basic. Power read and PA inverted veer, they take too long to develop. I don't like the footwork that the quarterback do. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried to get somewhat jiggy with it, and it just don't work. It take too long to it stalls. Both of them. Even if you passing, I have got a little success from them, but you just never know. It's a hit or miss. Okay, so I'll never mind that. And you see 0-1 trap. That's the running concept that we're gonna have in our audibles. PA comebacks. That's pretty cool. That's built in with a deep post and comeback routes.
Change this route. Looking to throw on first down. Unloads to the wideout. He's got it. Lowers that shoulder.
So that's pretty much just like PA read. You notice the play action plays are on the right in this set. They're all to the right. Inside cross is pretty cool. I love the mesh concept with the tight ends. You can come out in inside cross and you can get down the field. I got some cool stuff to show you with inside cross in the 4-minute offense videos. Some very cool stuff. That's one of the pillars to the set. That keeps things going, right? You read the mesh crosses, and then you cancel your running back, and then you can go to the wide outs. That's how you read that play right there.
First half, they're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. He's looking to throw. Trying to ball his way to the air. It's Reed. Unloads to the wideout. Grabbed in the middle. It's Bussy. And perhaps a touchdown.
So anyway, 0-1 trap is in the audibles because sometime I will come out and read option or inside zone, and 0-1 trap just gives me a different concept because I have 0-1 trap in the audibles because they're already thinking I'm doing inside zone. Okay. So 0-1 trap is like a cutback, right? So yeah, you can't deny that. All right, let's move over to what I want to do is I want to stay with the color code, and I'm going to go to the deuce. I'm going to go to the pistol deuce because that's within the color code. You guys got to take notes on that and just really kind of ride with me. It's like I said, it's going to be a bumpy ride, but you're going to be all right at the end of the roller coaster. All right, so deuce. I will show you the audibles for pistol deuce real quick before we go. That's what it looked like. Counter, stretch, inside cross, halfback zone, weak. I'll talk about all of those plays and how I what I think about the plays and stuff in the set. I'll talk about that stuff right here. Starting off with the corner post, I'm good. I lay low off this play. You just never know if the corner post, like that corner route, the C route, is gonna break. Maybe you can throw it early sometime on that slant part of it. It gets open, but I just don't be trusting the process. I don't care for that end route like that. Like it's other plays I can pick before that. So I never really get a chance to go to corner post. Dive is a must have. Dive is very basic, but when you spread these players out and just switch formations and stuff, hey, you can run dive out of all of these sets, and just move the tight ends around, move the receivers around, and still be running dive. You see what I'm saying? So I love dive, but I have zone weak in here because I want to attack different gaps. So guys, pay attention, especially the new guys to the channel. Pay attention. We put a lot of emphasis on the A gap, the B gap, and the C gap and D gap. There's a lot of emphasis on that. Those are totally different gaps. And when you playing against the best of the best in these big matchups, it's going to come down to how you read the gap scheme. A run play ain't just a run play. You have and I know I'm ranting a little bit. Have you ever been watching a football game with like a person that doesn't watch football, and they be like, why is he running up the middle? Why are they doing the same play up the middle? See, they think that, but from a mathematical standpoint, A, B, C, and D, either way, back in Little League, we counted it 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. Those are different gaps. And, the defense have to have discipline in those gaps. So your scheme can center around halfback dive. Trust me and believe.
They'll try the ground game here with the running back. They bring him down, but that's a good
For this defense.
And they'll try to pick it up on the ground. Got the first down and still motoring. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
I'm good on play action deep end. I'm good. Like I've tried it. I just don't have time to fool around with it. Like the wheel route is cool. And you want to have, let's talk about that too. You want to have a team with 2 tight ends, 2 fast tight ends for this scheme to work too. Because your backup tight end, he's a viable option. And he have to be part of the scheme. I try to make a scheme where everyone has equal opportunity to get the ball. Some games, some players might get the ball more than others. All right. But you want to run a team, like Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Miami. It's a couple of teams out there, Alabama, Texas A&M, LSU. I know I'm naming like big household names, but Penn State, there's teams with 2 tight ends, So yeah, you want to do that. Halfback zone week, you've seen that. That's in the audibles. That's attacking the C gap. Sometimes, it's because it's called a zone, you might have to cut back some way or bounce out to the outside, right? Inside cross, I love it. That's one of my favorite plays. Although I can create this at the line of scrimmage, I want this in my audibles because I might need to just go to it very quickly sometime, without changing plays, or I might be on the road and I don't have time to hot route, drag routes, and in breaking routes, right? So that's in the audibles. That's pretty much one of my favorite plays.
To go hurry up, defense has to be ready.
Dropping back, it's Reed. Fires to the wideout. He's got an open man. Right down the gut of the field. 10. Touchdown, Aggie. Their own 10. Dropping back, it's Reed. Fires to the big fella. Crosses the 30, he's got a lane. Turning it on. Big game.
Nice second effort by the back to break a tackle, but how about those defensive backs willing to come up, stick their face in the fan, and make a tackle?
Those are the best run defenses too, right? It's not just D linemen and linebackers getting all the plays, but it's DBs that are...
Got enough space. Touchdown, Aggie. The Aggies have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Back to throw, it's Reed. Pocket breaking down. Got his man downfield.
Okay, strong power, that's cool, depending on the circumstances. I don't want to be 3rd and 2 trying to run strong power. That's a play you run on 1st and 10. When you got more other, you got other downs to rely on. You don't want to rely on this on 3rd down. You get what you can. Because it takes too long to develop, the guards have to come around that corner and everything have to work, like the gaps with the gaps. You can see these guards are getting out of those gaps. So everything have to work.
Moving the chains easily. The running back has it. And he rolls into the house. Touchdown.
Right. Let's move forward. Halfback counter. I can say the same thing about halfback counter. But it's in the audibles. It made it. So the audibles are my best 4. Okay. That's the best 4 plays that I deem worthy. I know you guys might have a different opinion. You can see I have stretch and counter. Like, why would you have 2 outside running plays? But they serve different purposes.
A&M made the move to the SEC. seed, their path to the national championship got way harder. If they're going to win today, they've got to come up with big plays in the passing game. This guy gives them that opportunity.
I'm good on hitch corners. I can create that on my own. You know, that's one of those plays I can create on my own. And the tight ends are kind of slow. So sometimes like they're slower than wide receivers. If this was a 2x2 spread set, then I would, you know, it's pretty much like a smash concept, but I haven't had too much success with the tight ends going to the corners like that unless I, you know, it just everything have to line up perfectly. Like I got other things to do before I try to do that out of that formation. Now, there's another formation where I can do hitch corners, and I'll talk about that. We know about halfback stretch. You know, it's not your best form of halfback stretch because it's in the pistol deuce. You know, it's not in the I formation. It's not with a wing, but let's show some love to halfback stretch because sometimes everything's get sealed on the edge outside, and the defense will over pursue.
Going to the running game. Pass the sticks, and he may get more.
Last but not least, I'm good on bench. Inside zone split is cool. I've had little success with that. I also love sometimes the inside zone split, depending on, you know, if I'm up, that's a play that I can run, you know, if I can spare a play. Short post, it's okay. Just everything it's just too much commotion going on, and that user is sitting in the middle. I pass on short post. I'll pass, man. I'm good. All right. So we'll move forward to the next one, and that's gonna be our next color. And that's gonna be our red. So we're gonna start off in the gun ace slot. So in the red, we have gun ace slot, gun U off trips, and pistol U off trips. All right. Let me go to the field real quick. I'm gonna just call a random play. So we're in the gun ace slot. I'm gonna show you real quick why this is color coded in red. If I go to the gun ace slot, the defense know post is coming. That's one of the main plays right here from this set. I don't know if you guys remember these guys named I think his name was Zane and the other guy was named Z Faros. They was the guys who represented EA. They go way back, and they were like-minded like myself. I used to watch them a lot. Like when you're on defense, you should be able to see the offensive formation and try to start guessing some of the plays that they do based on what the community do, or if you're just a playbook junkie. Like when I see somebody in this set, I'm thinking level cell, I'm thinking halfback screen, and I'm thinking post. You know, in college now you got to think speed option. So, but yeah. So what I did here, I put 3 sets in the red because, like I said, if you audible to the gun, you off trips. I want you to watch the movement. That's the only thing that happened. That's the only thing. That's what happened right there. I'm going to go back to the ace slot, and I'm going to audible to the gun, you off trips. See that? So now that just gave me 4 additional audibles. So I have 8 audibles with little to no movement. And you can also audible to the pistol, you off trips. Let's look at it. Very subtle. See, the running back just went that way. He just went behind the quarterback. You know, I mean, I know a lot of you guys are trying to get creative and motion them out, like stuff like that. But if you motion him to the right and then move him back left, then you get to have him next to yourself, you know, on the other side. So all kind of stuff you can do with this, man. You can do some real cool stuff with this. See, I just did that on my own. And what I like about this, I can motion him and then send him back when I want to. Like I can send him back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty cool right there. Which they kind of know you're passing at this point. But if I keep them right there, they'll start thinking I'm doing inside zone that way. So yeah, that is real cool. And you can cause a lot of confusion with the alignment of the defense. It's not cheesy. It's football. It's numbers. Okay. It's tactical. It's a method. It's a strategy. It's a system. You know, it's just it's a style of play. So yeah, I'll go here. So you can see the pistol, you off trips, and then I'll go back to the gun ace slot. All right. Let's talk about them plays. Let's talk about it. Gun ace slot at the top. QB power. That is in the audibles. I'm gonna tell you why. So back when Cam Newton played for Carolina Panthers, like I've been running the gun ace slot probably since like Madden '03. No cap. Like now Cam Newton came in 2011, but Madden '03, I've been running the gun ace slot. I mean, it was one of the most popular formations on the game. Like so much of this stuff is new in the game. This was one of the ways you could spread the defense out and spread your whole field out, you know? And quarterback power made its way here when Michael Vick came. You know, Mike Vick came to the league. They had a little they had plays like this in their playbook, like in '05 and '04 and '06 in Madden. When Mike Vick came, they had plays like that, and then it disappeared for a little while, and then it came back when Cam Newton went to Carolina Panthers. So I used to rock this. I remember, man, like back in Madden 15 and stuff. So um, they could be thinking post is coming, and then if you got that one playbook that have QB power, boy, that edge gets set. They're not worrying about the right side. You are off to the races with the right quarterback. Okay, so that's in there, and the time will come for that.
Aggies can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. Inside the 40. Off to the races to the right. And he got away from the defense and quarterback keeper. And he rolls in here as they go back to work. A run for the quarterback. There he goes. And he waltzes in for the score. Touchdown, Aggies.
Smash is cool. I like Smash. I'll come out and Smash sometime. You know, the concept. I love the tight end scene. We got to talk about that too.
Is deafening, trying to make sure only the Gators get out of the swamp on third down. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Complete downfield. It's a seam wide open. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Aggies. Making side adjustments here. To the air. It's Reed. He's got an open man. It's set to snap it. Time winding down here in the quarter. Might be calling a hot route. On third and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. Working the middle. He wasn't far from taking...
Do it yourself reverse. That's pretty cool. When the time is right, you can do it. You know, it's not strong enough to make the audibles, but when the time is right, yeah, you can do it yourself reverse. But just be ready to audible something else, because if they line up properly and they're outside and containing, you can't do nothing about it. All right.
Got room to work. Oh, there's an alley to the left. And he's loose.
So, yeah, let's talk about the tight end seams. All of these sets right here, I'll go to personnel. All of these sets right here that you see displayed, you know, except these wing slot overs, you can't do it with the wing slot because you can't audible your tight ends for some crazy reason. You can't put audibles unless they already have a route. So with the wing slot overs, you can't really do nothing. So everything except that, you can run your tight ends straight down the field, like in the ace slot, in the U off trips. in the wing slot over or whatever. The wing slot weak. You can run your tight ends straight down the field, and sometimes they don't even pay attention to the tight ends for some crazy reason. You play around with these pieces of the puzzle, they won't even pay attention to the tight ends. So yeah, you'll catch them off guard a lot. These are like automatics, and so yeah, smash is a good play to center around the scheme. Okay, stick, that works pretty cool depending on what you're trying to do. If you need a quick first down, if it's 2nd and 2, 3rd and 2 or whatever. I run it on 2nd and 2 because 2nd and 3 and not third down, because third down, they know you might try to be safe, but I run this on like 2nd down and short. All right. Read option, that's obvious, fake the inside zone, go around the corner. Play action read is all right. You just need to have a fast tight end right there. And I'll show you my tight ends and we'll get back to business. I'll show you what I'm working with and you can see the success. And it was so cool last week in week whatever their last game was, when they was for them to be 3-0. This guy right here was killing it. Yeah, I actually watched that game when they said Theo Mellon and Ostrom. Man, he was killing it. And I'm like, that's my boy. And I seen Not Black out there. This guy right here, Bussy, be killing it as well. All right. But yeah, back to the tight ends. That's the speed right there, 76 and 86. But yeah, so they do have a faster guy down there named Armstrong. I put him in every now and then, but I like the awareness from Theo. But yeah. So you need some speed at tight end to run plie read, unless you're just trying to use him as a decoy. Right? You got the double post on the top. You got the fake with the running back. And then you got post. Okay. That had to make the audibles. Post is pretty much everything. That's the golden play of the whole set. Well, yeah, that's one of my favorites as well. Okay. Yes, sir. And then you got the running back sitting on the right. He can hit that Texas. You could change him to a flat route and change that to like level cell, or at least a cell concept to the right, and run and create it called post cell. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got so many concepts into one play right there. So that's why that play is very popular. It's very spacious.
Looking to throw on first down. Fires to the middle. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And they are pushing the ball
A little bit off, and it just made it a little bit difficult for his wide receiver to try to make the catch.
Fires it down the seam. It's caught. Back to pass, it's Reed. Unloads it left. Tremendous crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on third down. Scanning the field, it's Reed. Fires to the wideout. Got his man to the left.
Moving over to the inside zone.
Looking for room, it's Moss. Wide open spaces. They'll run it, it's Moss.
RPO alert bubble, because that gives me more variety on the outside. Sometimes the cornerback won't come over to that slot receiver, and that's how you can kind of tell whether they're in man and zone. But the one cornerback who is over there will be in the cloud flat playing down low. So that don't mean because you got a 2-on-1 on the outside, you can just automatically go to the bubble. So yeah, be careful. You guys have been seeing me run bubble screens since the channel first started.
Getting him on the ground as soon as he catches the football. Knowing he's a threat, I'm not going to let this guy get out of my sights. Nice job by the D.
Gets it out quickly. Touchdown, Maggie.
Flood is okay. I like flood. Flood is a concept that spaces things out. Sometimes it puts the defense into conflict. So yeah, we're good on that. Halfback quick base. That will serve a purpose around here. You guys know I love quick bases and stuff, halfback base because of that pulling guard. I love pulling guards because the defense have to think twice. They have to jump back. You know, if they're shooting the gaps the wrong way, we can clean up.
Been searching for those big-time plays, that big-time offense since that point.
Handoff from the gun. Oh, he's getting ahead of steam.
I'm good on X spot. I know some guys I know a guy who love spot concepts. I have never been a fan of them. I like spacing concepts. Excuse me. Yeah, I like spacing concepts. But it's cool and I understand the purpose. I just don't like the risk with that crisscross right there. It's just too much going on and people can run into each other. Let's say circle get bumped at the line of scrimmage and then squares coming over, triangles coming over. It's just too cluttered right there. But I have been burnt by X spot in certain formations before, but I'm good. I don't know about y'all. Last but not least, at the last column or row, we have the halfback slip screen. That can be in the audibles. You know, that's worth putting in the audibles depending on how you run the offense. Do it yourself reverse. And you have to honor halfback slip screen. I would say this, you know how like in basketball, let's go back to halfback slip screen. In basketball, they have what's called a 6-man. You know, halfback slip screen is waiting at the door. If any one of these plays, you know, I decide to take anything out, I will put the slip screen in because we know the attention is drawn to posts, you know, or the way that the play is flowing, which is to the left. So slip screen will come right on in and like it says, slip screen. Yeah, so yeah, that's right there at the door with the rest of the audibles. All right. Yeah, do it yourself reverse. I don't really care for that version of it. I like the other version, like right here, when you hand it off to the running back, you know, when it looks like you're doing quarterback power and then you hand it off to the running back. I'll save a jet touch pass in exchange for this. Do it yourself reverse. I'm good. Slants is cool. I can create that at the line of scrimmage. You guys can as well. So I wouldn't really pay no attention to slants. Now, there are times where like you might be doing post or smash, but you will have to create slants because you'll see, excuse me, you'll see opportunity to do so. Okay, so yeah, slants, you know, slants will be there when we need it. All right. So next on the color code of the red will be our gun you off trips. Let's talk about it. I'm good on shock. Let's get right to it. I'm good on shock. I have been roasted and toasted by shock. I just can't take the risk of of depending on it. You know, for some reason, every time I try it, you know, my man get caught or I throw a pick or it just get deflected. Like I don't get the separation like I see people do. So somebody help me out with shock. Something I'm not doing right, which means PA tight end out is the same thing. I don't pay no attention to those. Inside zone, you can see it's in audibles. And let's talk about that. So if we go back to the other red set, which is a slot, you have halfback quick base. Okay. You also have inside zone here. So now you got two of them. You know, you got two different concepts. Like, so you got inside zone, and you know, depending on how the user is, he's going to be in the middle. He's going to be shooting the gaps and anticipating things. Or you have halfback base with no movement. So that's the reason why that's color coded in red, and let alone with the rest of the sets. So yeah, we got all of those plays available to us. Don't go with the generic plays that they give you with the game. You know, get jiggy with it. So that's that. Post wheel shallow made the list. Let's go here. Yeah, post wheel shallow made the list. On the next page, I love it. It's a switch concept. You can also take those tight ends and create that crossing route again. Sometimes the sit route from triangle will just sit right there in the middle and hold the user. Then you can go right past his head, right past his face or whatever, and split coverage in the back end of the defense.
They'll switch it up here and look to throw. Just a short pass to the tight end. Oh, he's got some space. He's at the 10, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. The board right before the half. Wants to throw. It's Reed. Shoots it to the left. It's caught downfield. They're looking to pass from the red zone. He wants it all. And makes the grab in the end zone.
Counter wide, it's okay. That's one of those plays that's not first choice. Maybe if I'm up in the game by 7 or 14 and I have a down to spare, because you're most likely going to get stopped in the backfield. The defenses are very aggressive. RPO read flat, you better have a fast tight end over there. Now, let's do something real quick. What I do in the game sometimes is I'll switch. You see number 17 and 84? 84 is the fast tight end. So what I do is I flip-flop the tight ends. I'll go like right there, and then I'll do that when I need to get out of, I need an emergency guarantee. I'll do the RPO read flat. I'm not gonna lie. I think last year when I made that crucial video, this putting RPO read flat from the gun wide spread scheme, I think EA saw that, or maybe a lot of people was using it too much and it was kind of too easy to do, and you was getting more success than you shouldn't have. So they have toned that down. Like sometimes that man would throw the ball on the ground. So it's in the audibles because it was a good play from back in the days, which is the previous year.
Reads it, fires complete. Just what the
Going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down. And they got to
route. All right, let's move forward. And you'll see why it made the audibles, because when you look at the rest of these plays, they're basic. We already have a read bubble. No need for that. I'm good on read option. We have something similar already. X GIF, X alert post. I don't understand the purpose of it. It's double hitches. Okay. That looked like some 1980s stuff, like with the way they played football back in the 80s when it was like just hitches and outs and ins before they had all the double moves and the switch concepts. Those routes like from way back in the day. I'm good. All right. So moving forward, PA post shot. It's an okay play. It's an okay play. It was like some of the leftovers from the audibles, and it already came in the audibles, I think. So yeah, I'll do it. I don't really have time to do it. I have something that's very similar to it. You can put triangle on a crossing route, and that'll give you like a tight end cross, maybe. Put circle on a drag route. But I already have another play later on for that, so we'll come back to that. Halfback power, that's like the same as the counter.
first snap of the drive from the 25. They'll open this third quarter with a run. At the 35, he's got room.
Put points on the board. And, Jesse, it looks like they're going to start with the ground game.
And I love this, David, too. Regardless of whether they're losing or they're winning, come out here and try to be the most physical.
He's loose. In enemy territory.
Sometimes you can throw off the timing of the defense because he's going one way, thinking you're going left, and then you come back with a power. Deep post corner, I'm good. I like, look at it. It looked like somebody just scrabbled. I'm good. You will never get that double move out there. So they need to take that out the game. So yeah, that's that for the gun you off trips. That is that.